Well, today on our shore walk at Longreef, we came across this blue swimmer crab, which is right here. Now, this blue swimmer crab is Thalameta spinamana, basically because of the spines on the arms, but nothing particularly special about the species itself here. But what we actually found on this species, the specimen rather, is that it's actually got a parasite, which is a kind of barnacle. Now, this is called a rhizocephalin barnacle, and unlike your ordinary barnacles which sit on the bottoms of ships, this one actually has a root-like structure that's gone into the body cavity of the crab and will actually be drawing nutrients from the hemolymph, effectively the crab's blood. Now, what is interesting about these barnacles is what they do is when they get onto a host is that they actually castrate the animal, because where it sits is actually where the eggs are carried by the crab, and when they attach to a male, they actually feminize the male. So this one here is actually a male, but despite having this wide abdomen, which is what the female crab would normally have to help brood the eggs, because the eggs are being carried there. So this male, as it's grown, has actually developed a very wide abdomen. And I can tell it's not a female because it lacks the female reproductive structures which would be normally placed here and here. Now this is effectively just the reproductive structures of the barnacle. And effectively, that's the female, and the males are tiny males will get inside there and fertilize the eggs, and then they spread again. So that's why I'm keeping this particular specimen, because these parasites are quite rare in the environment. As you can imagine, if you're feminizing and castrating your population, your host population, if it were too prevalent, you'd very quickly drive the species to extinction. Also with these guys, when they do have this infection, so they actually treat it as if it's a brood of eggs, and so the male will, or the female, whatever actually happens to have the parasite, will actually stand up on its legs and fan the abdomen to generate airflow, which helps get oxygen flow to the barnacle itself, much like they would with their own broods of eggs. It really is the invasion of the body snatchers, really. Completely taking over the host's reproductive abilities, effectively destroying them for their own purposes. Imagine what damage would happen to the population of these crabs if these parasites got out of control.